Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Go ahead, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. This is the biggest way you can help out the channel. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're YouTube, this is a satire channel and it's for entertainment purposes only. Now, with all that out of the way, let's see what we got today. We are live.
There's a theory out there that at one point the world became melted, and some even point to ancient civilizations using nuclear weapons. And they point to the melted buildings all around the world, the red brick and the granite buildings that you see. When they ask the question, what caused this to happen? And you might say, well, that's crazy. But the more you look into it, the more you're going to find stuff like this. And you're just going to wonder, what happened here? The official narrative is that in 95% of these cases, this is erosion. This is just minerals breaking down to look like mountains. And we see these buildings and these stairs and all these different stuff. It just kind of blends back into nature. In a lot of cases, it just doesn't make any sense. Nobody would build a place like this. Nobody would build some type of house in the side of a mountain like this. Many believe it was some type of solar event. The only question is when.
Now that's interesting.
The melted ruins of our hidden past. When your eyes are open, it's impossible not to see it. To see these structures are anything but carved stone, high up in mountainsides. These are massive and grand structures from a far greater civilization, a true golden age of humanity. There was not just the great flood of Noah or the mud flood. There has been several resets of civilization, some by flood, some by water, some by fire. The buried structures we see are just from the last reset, known as the mud flood. These are not just buried, but melted and deformed, massive megalithic structures. You don't see that in the recent buried buildings. And these were not certainly made with hammer and chisel by a primitive man. But for many, the eyes are useless if the mind is blind. And we as a society has been made intentionally blind. And many refuse to wake up. Indoctrination can be a hard thing to break. But this is why I'm here. This is why I started my channel. To help you guys open your eyes, to see the true beauty of the world, and to question everything. Until next time, friends.
I think we're definitely onto something with this one. We gotta go a little deeper.
There's a lot of places out there that look kind of strange. And it almost looks as if they've become melted. Now, many scholars say that they built these little houses into the cliffs, and much of this was just natural erosion. But I don't think that story makes a whole lot of sense. Why would people build these places? Why would they build right into the cliff sides? And sometimes we only see half of a door, half of a window. And then we have to ask, well, what happened? Many speculate that it was some kind of solar event, although some refer back to ancient Indian texts about their Vimana crafts that had laser weaponry and energy weapons, which could have easily melted stone. So what makes more sense here? Are we looking at simply erosion or something far greater at play?
Recent evidence suggests the possibility of a nuclear war in ancient times. The discovery of a layer of radioactive ash in the body of the city's inhabitants with signs of radiation sickness in Mohenjo-Daro, an ancient city in Pakistan, and similar evidence in Harappa have led some researchers to suggest that the destruction may have been caused by a nuclear weapon. However, some scientists and historians remain skeptical, arguing that the evidence may be the result of natural disasters, such as volcanic eruptions. The discovery of trinitite, a type of glass formed when sand is melted by the intense heat of a nuclear blast, at a site in Rajasthan, India, provides further support for the possibility of ancient nuclear war, but when and by whom remains a mystery.
They all made up this nonsense with these slaves building these pyramids for these pharaohs and all this nonsense. It's made up, guys. Okay, so forget about all that. Just listen here when I'm talking and try to comprehend this in your mind and question what you have been told. Okay, so here you have the 3 pyramids again, and you have here this area especially looking very much like fried components. And you have all the ashes just flowing here. This is Cairo city, so you have them flowing here, and then we come in after and we just build here on top of everything, on top of all the ashes and ruins. That's what this current civilization did. We inherited a melted realm, and nobody knows about it.
What happens in the dark must come to the light. What you know about the Petrified Forest in Arizona? Oh my days. So check it. They're saying what caused the Petrified Forest is that it grew over 200 million years ago near waterways. During floods, water forced the trees to be pulled up from the ground. Over time, the wood from the trees became petrified. So let's take a closer look. Have you ever seen anything like that in your life? That looks more than petrified. That looks crystallized or turned into some type of marble. So let me ask you a question. If this has been naturally petrified, who cooked the wood which has been turned into stone into small pieces? And you know what's funny? Everybody's looking in the front, but nobody's looking in the background at the giant tree stumps. Now I want you to compare these pictures. This is Arizona, and this is a mining site. Arizona, this is a mining site. And again, Arizona, and again, this is a mining site. So basically what I'm trying to say is sometime in the past, somebody cut down these trees with advanced technology which we do not understand and was mining for resources. The question is, who?
So you don't believe in giants yet? What about giant trees? Do you believe in giant trees the size of the Statue of Liberty? No? Well, if you stick around, by the end of this video, you might just believe in both. Let's first look at the Devil's Tower in Wyoming in the United States, and let's look what the mainstream narrative tells us. They tell us that this began as liquid hot magma that came out of the earth and hardened. But when you look at things and you don't just believe what you're told, and you have an open mind, you see what I see. And that is that this 900-foot supposed rock formation looks an awful lot like a 2-foot petrified tree stump. Is that just a coincidence to you? Could they really look that similar if these weren't petrified trees? But you might be asking yourself, why would they hide this information from us? Well, I believe it's because it's talked about in the Bible and talked about how trees were so tall they reached the sky and could be seen to the ends of the earth. The Bible also references how angelic watchers came down and chopped down trees and destroyed everything except left the stumps. Could it be we're seeing what's talked about in the historic book of the Bible? The Bible also references giants and talks about how there were giants on the earth in those days. Could it be that the same people that created lies like evolution also are trying to hide the fact that giants and giant trees once were on this realm we live in? To hide the fact that there's legitimacy to the Bible? Could it be that there are giants so big that you mistake them for mountains? You see all these pictures of mountaintops might not look much to the eye like this, but when you flip it like this, the picture becomes a little bit more clear. and you can start to see that maybe there were beings here the size of mountains and trees here the size of giant skyscrapers. The evidence is all around us. All you have to do is look. But you need to look with an unprogrammed mind. And then you need to ask yourself, what could have caused all this petrification? What could have happened to all these giant trees and these giant humanoids? And you look into it and you see that water plays a giant role in petrification. I don't recall anything about water though in the history, except for the Great Flood that is literally mentioned in every single ancient culture's history. Everyone, and especially mentioned in the Bible. So you can continue to buy into what the mainstream says and that it's just a coincidence that there are rock formations that look like human faces, and it's just a coincidence that there are giant stone formations that look like petrified trees. And you can continue to believe that you're in a spinning globe and that evolution is real and that you're just an accident. Or you can do research and you can find out truth and you can figure out there is a creator that created this amazing place and you were created for a purpose.
Certainly a lot to think about today.
You want a real rabbit hole? We're going to Turkey. Turkey has some of the wildest stuff on the planet, hands down. Who makes it? Look at this. This is Eagle Castle. I'm probably butchering that name, but does that not look like a pillar to you? Like a giant pillar? That's huge. That's what people look at the boat. There's a rock-cut monastery that you can go inside, just like the one in Ethiopia. When you go inside this one, it's decorated head to toe like a cathedral. Turkey is ancient. We have megalithic architecture and rock-cut temples in Sorna, the city of oracles, and the ancient theater of Side rivals the Colosseum in Rome. It's insane. Göbekli Tepe and Karahan Tepe are also in Turkey. These two push civilization back 5,000 years from what we thought. They were buried really fast, like something was happening outside. The fact that every ancient culture has a flood myth would make Derinkuyu make sense. It's an 8-story underground city with locking doors, water access, and air vents. 20,000 people can live in this city, and it is connected by a 5-mile-long tunnel to Kemakli, another underground city, forming a network of over 200 underground cities in Turkey. Its next-door neighbor, Armenia, has a megalithic avenue similar to Karnak in France, making this whole area the most mysterious thing I've ever seen. Have fun with that rabbit hole.
Definitely have to look more into that one.
Oh, we got your ass. We got your ass now. So some people will say this is caused by wind erosion and rain. Others will say this is nothing more than a natural rock formation. But brother, that's a petrified cyclops. And it's not just a cyclops. There's a whole cave of petrified furniture, beings, people, all type of mad things, brother. Like, look at that. It's because a chair. Are they shoes? That's a person, brother. A petrified person. Now, I don't know where this is. It says it's somewhere in Russia or Ukraine. But this is a mad thing, bro. If anyone knows what this is, somebody tell me. I mean, who is that? Who is that? That's somebody, bro. That ain't just a normal rock formation. I'm not having it. And I'm not a scientist. And I don't study rocks. But brother, that's a hand.
I mean, maybe. Alright, just to let you guys know, a couple weeks ago I launched my t-shirts, so if you're looking for a cool Christmas gift or you're looking just to expand your wardrobe, link is in the description. Go ahead and check it out. All designs are done by myself and new ones are added all the time. Best part is you're supporting somebody like me and not some huge conglomerate, so check it out if you want. But with that out of the way, let's get back to the video.
This discovery in Thailand is going to blow your mind. This is the Naka Cave located in Phu Lanka National Park in the Byeongkin province of Thailand. Locals believe that these are remains of a giant serpent. In Buddhist lore, the snake is called a naga, said to be half human and half snake, dwelling in the netherworld. Others believe it is the Titanoboa, which is an extinct snake that measures over 50 feet and weighs over 2,500 pounds. The Naka Cave was discovered in 2020 where it was open to the public. Once these pictures started appearing, the authorities quickly shut down the location. There are multiple locations in Thailand with similar defining snakehead features. There are petrified creature formations all around the world. One of them being the sphere-shaped boulders found on the beach of Myra, New Zealand, or the ones in Costa Rica. The scientific explanation is that these were formed millions of years ago on the seabed when limestone crystals formed around organic material and created this sphere shape. Then the seabed rose out of water and eroded, leaving a shoreline. Now these are a picture of fossilized dinosaur eggs. Do they look familiar? Both of these contain the same exact minerals. Here's one that looks like the creature escaped before becoming fossilized. Legends speak of these creatures all the time, but we still refuse to believe that they were once real. If you guys like the channel, check out my Etsy store. The link is in the bio. Like, follow, and subscribe.
I mean, maybe.
Y'all seen these right here yet? Looks like a dragon maybe embedded in the rock, maybe something petrified. Anyways, there's a lot, there's a lot of big stuff. Just watch the video and follow this guy.
Are these petrified giants?
Hey y'all, Myra here. So the internet is going bananas over this video. This petrified gigantic turtle was recently found in Peru. It's up to you to decide if you think it's truly a gigantic petrified turtle or if it's a stone carving. Keep in mind it is kind of hard to gauge the size, but you can kind of tell by looking at its background and then looking at it, and you can just tell it's huge. Me personally, I love the man who found it. And how he, at the end, you'll hear his original audio. Completely amazing. But tell me what you think. Like, post, comment, repost.
Well, I think there's definitely a case that can be made for the melted cities and the melted world, and for the petrified animals and trees for that matter. You know, I'm not an expert and I don't claim to have all the answers here. I've never once claimed that. I don't suggest that anything I show that you just take at face value. If anything, go look more into it. And if you can debunk something and you can prove me wrong on any of this, set me straight, please, by all means do so. That's how we find the truth, and that's how we weed out all the garbage, right? So, but this is definitely intriguing. There's definitely a lot there and a lot more we can get into, and we probably will as we go on. But I want to know what you think and how you feel about all this. But you know, drop a comment and we'll get into it like always. We'll see where it goes to, and we'll see who's got the knowledge and who's able to disprove any of this. So, but that's all I got today, guys. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me. I always appreciate it. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. A big thanks to anyone who has. And yeah, like I said, link for the t-shirts are in the description. Go ahead, check it out. Makes a wicked Christmas gift. So yeah, I guess I will see you again in the next one. And until then, 80 Canadian, signing off.